Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm here with Spice and Wolf, episode number 10 reactions. So the previous episode, things, the things which were looking kind of good, it seemed as if like, oh, Lawrence is going to make a lot of money selling the armor. It actually went in a complete opposite direction because Lawrence bought the armor through credit. He didn't have the money, so he bought it through credit, and it turns out the expedition that was supposed to happen was cancelled, which means yeah, like the price for armor fell down completely, and now he is running at loss. And since he bought it with credit, he actually owes the people money, the people who, yeah. So it's a messy situation. He was given like a notice that you have to, give us the money within 2 days, otherwise, you'll be screwed. And he went out asking for help from a lot of people. Like nobody really did help by the end of it, and it was a bad situation. Either way, in the end, he kind of snaps a little bit at Hollow because apparently there was a guy who was like, "Oh, like you are in need now, and you're going along with a woman. So who do don't make a fool of us or something like that." He says, and because of that, he kind of snapped at Hollow for a little bit in the end. But obviously, it wasn't Hollow's fault because of this whole situation. You know, he immediately realized his mistake, but Hollow then went back to the place where they're staying, to the inn. So it ended over there. So let's see what happens. How he gets out of this situation, and what happens. Let's see. All right, so let's get started. I'll be putting the subtitles and the timer here. Sync it whichever is your preference, and let's begin. Okay, here's the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. Hmm. Oh boy. Well, the problem is that there's not enough time. It's like 2 days or something. Like, how the hell is he even going to get that amount of money within 2 days? Like, what? Hmm. Hmm. Oh God. Let's see. Wisdom of a wolf and smooth talk of a merchant. Hmm. Oh, there she is. Oh. Well. 40 Luminor. Damn. Oh my God. Nah, man. Mm. Yeah, I can see. Because yeah, that little amount of money won't amount to anything at the end. Oh, damn. Right. He's like, come on, guys. It's middle of the night. I need to lock up. Hello? Right. Oh no, you don't. Mm. Oh, she's talking about the that guy. Oh my god. Oh my god. Hey yo, hello. Damn. Oh. Oh. Whoa, what? Wait, what is she even? What is that? A chair? What is that? I cannot see in the dark. Yeah. Oh my god. Hmm. I guess he did say before that Hollow you stay back, but she was like, no, I want to go. Hmm. Hmm. It is personal. She was expecting him to say that. Oh, it's because it's you. I'm pretty sure that's what she was expecting. Or wait a minute, let me see. Exactly. I knew it was something like that she was expecting to hear, but he just yo yo yeah, bro. Oh lord. Yeah. Um, there you go. Okay. Oh my god. What? What? Yeah. Mm. All right, let's hear it. Hmm. Okay. Well, obviously we won't hear it now. We'll see what is this place? Hmm. Who's that? Oh, this freaking guy. Wait a minute. What's their plan? That they would. Yeah, that's true. Oh, he's talking about Nora. I just realized. Yeah, he's talking about Nora because she's from the church, so it will be. Yeah, it's Nora. Okay, obviously she will be involved with this. I knew it. I guess he needs help. Okay. Oh yeah, that's true. Oh yeah, he cannot hire her. I guess. I guess. Is that why? Okay. Okay. Yeah. So basically, to extend the deadline. Oh. Okay. Oh no. What? Right. So he's also in quite a bit of a trouble. Like, yeah, I guess that makes sense because he's. Hmm. Okay. Right. Hmm. Yeah. And this was also her plan from the beginning. So Tch. Yeah. Okay. Right. Is that her? The one in the hood? Oh no, there she is. Yeah. Yeah. Really? You? Okay. Wow. Oh, here we go. Yep, she has fallen for it. Let's go. Hmm. Okay. Okay, maybe inside the sheep's wool or something. We can, I don't know, 20. You're right, obviously. Yeah. So all or nothing. Yeah, so they'll put it on the in the sheep, I think, in the wool. I don't know. Let's see. It on the tailors one living room. Yeah. Damn. Different town. Ah, again makes sense because this place is. I think he doesn't want to keep a connection here, like the church and everyone, Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Hmm. Yeah. Ooh. Oh. Different town. Right. Ooh. Here we go. Well, you will be the one. I'm sure they'll put it on in the sheep. The wool. Yeah. Oh, under the bellies. Okay. Oh, I thought inside the wool or something. Without being caught. Okay. In any of the towns. Ah. People travel to others. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Bonus protocol. Yeah. Hmm. All right. Hmm. No, he doesn't. It's as if he's deceiving her. You know. Yeah, that as well. Yeah, like I said, he feels a bit. Daring sheep. Damn. Yeah. Okay. All right. So we at least have like a plan now what to do. Right. I like, obviously it's pretty obvious that Nora would be involved in this some way or the other, because otherwise she wouldn't have been introduced in this arc. Like, in the very first part of the arc she was introduced. She's in the opening, she's in the ending. So I'm like, yeah, she's definitely going to be involved. But I didn't know how. And I also realized that it must have something to do with Lamtra. I think that's the name. So, like what I was thinking was like maybe they're going to do something which is going to bring the expedition back up somehow, and the armor's price will increase again and they can do some. But no, it didn't go in that direction at all. But smuggling gold, which is interesting because obviously it was revealed that gold is very, like a very important thing here. Like you cannot really bring it in normally. So and they, like, the church has like monopoly on it, all that stuff. So yeah, we can do this. And so to do that we have to get the help of Nora. We need to get the help of someone who wants to leave this place behind and has no, like, loyalty towards this place. And Nora's like the perfect person for that. So yeah. Okay, that's it. Right, and that was today's episode. So today's episode was divided into two parts. The first beginning part was basically Lawrence and Hollow, going in and Lawrence trying to talk to Hollow. Hollow, saying that, oh, it's actually my fault, but why are you still so good natured? And I guess in a way it is true, because he did say, I remember in one of the previous scenes in the previous episode, he did say that, oh, Hollow, you stay back, like, let me handle this. At which Hollow was like, oh no, like, I'm going to help you out. I'm not the type of like a wolf who just stays back at home while my partner does the majority of the other job. I can, obviously he didn't mean anything, like, she didn't want to hinder him, or she just wanted to help him out, but she had no clue that it was going to escalate into this whole, like this mess. And I'm pretty sure Lawrence also had an inkling that something like this might happen. That is why at the beginning he told her to stay, but he's probably didn't think it would escalate this far. So he was probably like, yeah, like, okay, whatever, come with me. And then this whole thing happened, at which, like, Hollow thinks that, yeah, it's my fault, and if he went alone, maybe he could have borrowed some money from others. But at the end of the day, as Lawrence says, that it's not her fault, it's none of their fault, like, it's just that, like, she had the best of her of his intentions when she wanted to come with him. She wanted to help, and that is why she did this. So you cannot really blame her for that. And at the end of the day, it is his fault for, as he says, being greedy and trying to make a profit out of this whole, like the by using, like, the credit system. Hollow did warn him before that, oh, like, you're doing something like this, it doesn't sit well with me, like, buying stuff in credit. But obviously he's a merchant. Merchants are supposed to be making gambles like this, otherwise they cannot be called merchants. They have to take gamble now and then to get the best of the profits. So yeah, as he says, like it was wrong of me to lash out, even though you had the best of my intentions. Even though, like, I might have been able to borrow a little bit money if you weren't there with me, but acting like that at that point of time, it wasn't okay of me, because at the end of the day, I'm the one who took the deal, and that's why I fell in this troublesome situation. You weren't really at fault. Right, and that is why, like, he comes in and they have the conversation, they make up, and there you go. And then after that, Hollow is like, I have a plan, and the plan, therefore, after that, we get to see, involves um, Nora and Remerio. So Remerio comes in. Now here's the thing, like, I didn't realize it, but Remerio is also in a bit of a trouble, because of the whole armor, like, the whole thing going down. Yeah, he does owe a lot of money from Lawrence, but at the end of the day, if Lawrence wasn't the one who bought that armor, in credit, I guess he would have been the one to get the, like, to fall into that problem or something. That is why a lot of people, because of this whole situation, because he's like, because of this whole situation, a lot of people and workers are, like, leaving, and he's losing people, and he's also in a bit of a troublesome situation. Yeah, he might, like, like, he needs, like, he like, the money, the debt. He does owe money from Lawrence, but Lawrence himself doesn't have any money. So at the end of the day, yeah, he wouldn't be able to pay him back. It's pretty obvious. And at the same time, people realizes that, the way this is going, the whole thing will go down in loss, and everyone who's connected with Remedio in this business is going to go down. So they're like, oh, let's run away before that, and that's why people are leaving, and he's troubled about this situation. He doesn't know what to do. So yeah, he also needs money to bounce back in this situation. So Lawrence needs money, he needs money. If they're able to get that money, they can bounce back, and maybe he can, get back his reputation, like, pay back his debts, and then, like, start completely anew. That is why they brought him, and they brought this whole thing on, like, brought this whole plan to him, and told him that, oh, this is what we do, and also we have a very good plan. It's not like a like a like like a poorly crafted plan. It's a good plan, because yeah, we know that Nora will probably take this. So we told them everything. We told him that this is how it's going to go. In the end, Hollow, in the end, he was going to leave, but Hollow in the end was like, I have good ears. I can hear good, like I have my good ears. I can hear people talking that they're going to leave, the whole thing, and they're not going to come back. So you're losing men like every second. And yeah, it's a bit of a troublesome situation. So you also need this as much as we do. So yeah, and it makes sense why he decided to involve Romario in this, because number one, Romario is the one who has the clutches on the deadline. He's the one who told him that, oh, within 2 days, and I think it's the second day already. So like that's number one reason why he needs to bring Romario in on this, so that he can extend the deadline. And number two, he needs the money. He needs the money to invest in that gold, so that gold he can, like, they can smuggle it and then make more money out of it. I think that's something like that he said. I'm going to read that part properly in the detailed discussion section. So these are like the two reasons, and that is why they need Romario exactly. Nobody else will fix this, this whole thing. So in the end, he was like, all right, fine, whatever, do what you want. And then we have the conversation with Nora, and it was a good idea to bring in Nora in this, because there's a few things that makes her perfect for the job. Number one, she doesn't really like the church. She hates the fact that the church sends her to these like difficult situations. And yeah, and you remember in the previous episode, he asked the father that, oh, can I please go somewhere else? And he was like, no, like this is what God told us to do, so you do that. So she wasn't happy about that. That's number one. Number two, she needs the money. She needs the money to make that tailoring thing and like go into her new future. She needs a lot of money for that. That's number two. And number three, as we said, like she doesn't have that much loyalty towards the church. If we're deciding to screw over the church here, and the people involved in this whole gold, like this thing. So we need someone who would be brave enough and who would not have any type of loyalty or like something like that towards the church. Nora fits perfectly for that. She goes on to like Lamtra and stuff like that. She's a very good shepherd. She's very courageous. That is why she will have that courage to take this up. Because if this was someone else, bringing this whole thing up itself would make them extremely scared, and they'll be like, wait, against the church? They'll be scared. She is the type of person who wouldn't do that. She was, like you could see that from the very beginning. She works for the church, but she has a very like a courageous personality, which doesn't make her afraid of going against it. So these are like the few reasons why. And also another big reason I think, is that the fact that, as Lauren said, that if you go in parts like that, nobody will bat an eyelid, because they know that you go to parts like Lamtra. They wouldn't bat an eyelid seeing you there. They'll probably be like, oh, she's just there in a job, gone there for a job. Another thing, there's like a lot of reasons why she's perfect for this. The sheep, they would be able to smuggle the gold like that. I was thinking they're going to, like, I don't know, like put those gold inside the sheep's wool or something, somehow stick it to them and use the wool to cover it up or something. I don't know. I thought something like that they're going to do. But no, he says underneath the belly, which I guess it kind of is the same thing, because obviously underneath the belly means the wool will also cover it up. So I guess I was right then, basically inside the wool. So they're going to stick it in their belly, in the skin of the belly. And then there's the wool that's probably going to cover it and provide camouflage. So another very good reason why she is extremely important here, because she has the sheep with her. The sheep will be helping us out to smuggle the thing, and yeah, so like these are like the reasons. And also the fact that he kind of like made Nora more convinced that yeah, you need to take this, by telling her that like the church here, the people are not good, like all the people working in the church here, as like he says, like they're pigs. And he says, like, and I know what they're doing. I know that they're telling you to go to dangerous places, because they're trying to like paint you as a bad person here. They'll probably label you as a witch or something like that later on, and that is why they're sending you to dangerous paths, and they'll probably be, in the end, they'll be like, oh, look at her, even in these dangerous situations she somehow comes out okay. There's no, she doesn't get harmed, and like this they'll probably be like, she's a witch, that's why she's unharmed, and that's why they're planning. So that's why they're trying to put her in dangerous situation, just so that they can do some narrative like that and completely completely go against her and destroy her life like that. So he's like, yeah, they're going to keep continue. Lawrence is like, they're going to keep continue to do that unless and until you mess up somehow, and they get they grasp your weakness, and they like label you as a witch or something. So yeah, that's what they're doing. So this was like the final, way he said this, and this made Nora by the end of it convinced that, yeah, I need to do something about this, and she took it. She took this whole thing, But Lawrence, later on, we get to see Lawrence feels sad about this, because as he says that, like, gambles like this, merchants should do it amongst each other, and involving a random girl who like a civilian. She's not a merchant. There's no need for her to get into this gamble. So he feels bad, as if he's tricking her. That is why, At which Hollow always says like, yeah, you're too good natured. All would have been good if as he says, hopefully everyone by the end ends up laughing. At which Hollow says like, why not the both of us only? And he's like, yeah, that's a good, that's a nice thing you said, but I would rather prefer everyone laughs in the end. At which he says, oh, you're too good natured, because that's what he wants. He doesn't want only both of them to end up being profitable from this. He wants everyone who's involved in this to end up profitable. Him, Hollow, Nora, I'm guessing Remedio as well. If this succeeds, I guess he's also going to get a lot of profit. So he wants everyone who's involved in this to end up profitable and happy by the end of it. At which Hollow says, oh, you're too good natured, because yeah. And okay, one thing I want to mention here, I forgot to mention that, that was like the whole episode, like a brief summary of it. But I love this part where I forgot to mention this. In the middle of the episode, you see that part where they were making up and everything, and in the end, Hollow's was hugging him, and he hugged Hollow back. At which she says that, oh, can you tell me one thing? Why are you so good natured? And you can see that her ears are twitching, her tail is moving, which obviously that kind of shows that she's expecting something, or she's anticipating something, something nice, and she's in a good mood. And I was like, okay, I definitely know she's expecting something, she said something like that, so she's definitely expecting something like, oh, it's because it's you, or something like that along those lines. But this is Lawrence, so we're talking about. So Lawrence was like, oh, it's probably because of my personality. And immediately her tail flops up, she gets pissed off, and she's like, what the hell is wrong with you? In a situation like that, I was expecting something like, oh, because you're special, or because because it's you, or something along those lines, and not something like that. Oh my god, that was hilarious. I exactly knew what she was expecting, and I exactly realized that, yeah, Lawrence is not going to pick up on that. She's going to say something stupid and random over there, and she's going to get pissed off. But at the end of the day, as he says, this is a part of his personality that makes her calm, and lower her guard against him. If he was cunning and witty and would say stuff like this, then that would be, I guess, in a way, a little bit concerning for Hollow as well, because he would have that amount of he would be if he had that type of personality, there would be a possibility that he might try to betray Hollow. But the fact that he's so good natured, and he's just says whatever he thinks about, and so what's that word, pure, that makes this type of this personality makes her more lower her guard against him, and it makes her more comfortable beside him. Something like that. Because it is true, if you think about it, like what episode is this? Episode 10, I think. Yeah. um you can see, like from the very first episode, not even the first episode, from the second, like the second, like, yeah, from the first, second, or third episode, you can see Hollow gets extremely like used to Lawrence. Yeah, I understand they're traveling for a long, they aren't really showing the time gap in the anime. I'm sure there's like been a few time skip here and there, because they're traveling, it's taking a long time. I understand that, but still, like, the fact that he was able to get so comfortable with Lawrence in such a small amount of time, it probably shows that's the reason, because she realized after observing Lawrence that he is very like straight cut and he's very forward. There's no like malice in his heart, and he's very like, like he says what he does, that kind of thing. So she was able to lower her guard against a complete stranger. If Lawrence was someone extremely cunning or witty, she probably wouldn't be able to lower her guard this much, like in such a short amount of time. But the fact that she's lowered her guard so much shows that she realizes that, yeah, he's a good natured person. He wouldn't do something like this. That's not in his personality at all. And that is why she has been able to get so close to Lawrence within this small amount of time. If it wasn't for his good natured personality, she wouldn't have done that. Definitely not. I doubt that, because Hollow is too smart to trust someone, like at a drop of a hat. She wouldn't do that. She would only trust someone who she realizes that, yeah, he's a good person. So that's why, since it was Lawrence, she's able to do that. Anyways, yeah, that was today's episode. Great episode. And yeah, hopefully, like, this is looking a little bit positive now. So hopefully this whole thing executes itself properly, and by the end of it, as Lawrence says, everything becomes okay and everyone ends up laughing. Right, now let me talk about this episode scene by scene, just in case if I missed something. Okay, so in the very first scene, we get to see Hollow is back in her room, and Lawrence is outside trying to ask for money, and you see this one person shutting the door and throwing the money towards him. It's like, take it and leave. And he collects the money, and yeah. So after that, we can see Lawrence comes to the room, and Hollow's there just, underneath the blanket. He's not really talking to Lawrence. So Lawrence comes there, and Lawrence is like, "Oh, Hollow, there you are," and he apologizes, and he tries to like touch her, and she just slaps her away with her tail, slaps him away, and he puts the money there, and he's like, "Oh, this is the amount of money I was able to gather." Wait a minute, how much did he collect? Just a minute. Let me read this part. I think he mentions how much he collected. This is what I was able to gather on my own. She throws the money there. I need over 40 Lumione, but I think he said, I think he mentioned like, it was like something like, I've forgotten. Either way, he still needs over 40 Lumione. But he's out of option. As he says, like, my only other thing that I can think of is like gambling. But he says, like, I believe that money can grow exponentially when it's in the right hands, and I think you're well worth this money. I want you to hold on to this money, and if we're bound to fail anyways, we might as well spend everything we have. Nothing will change if I fall further into debt. And he tries to leave, and the guy was like, hello, like, like, I'm closing the door, like, well, why are you leaving now? Anyways, he tries to leave, but Hollow opens the window and throws the money back to him. And she's like, you idiot, like, come back quickly. And the guy's like, hello, can you do this tomorrow? Like, I need to go to sleep. I'm going to close the door. And yeah, and Lawrence comes back. And Lawrence, like, the first thing that Hollow asks is like, what would you have done if I ran away with your precious money? And he says, like, I collected the money with that in mind. Like I had that in my mind. Like, the half of the reason was that if my mistake prevents me from keeping my promise, I wanted to at least provide some traveling funds. At which she gets mad, and she's like, how, like, what are you saying? Like, traveling funds? And then she says, like, it's my fault, like, I'm the one who selfishly went with you, and that is why you weren't able to borrow any money. At which Lawrence is like, no, it's not that. Like, like I was the, like, yeah, I understand what you're saying, but it wasn't okay of me to like slap your hand away, even though I was the one who like fell into this trap of like this whole thing. And she's like, like very angry here, and she grabs a chair, tries to hit him with it, but I think like she lost her balance here. The chair like tips over and she was almost going to fall through the window. Lawrence quickly grabs her and brings her in, closes the window, and and this is where Hollow says like, you're too good natured, at which he's like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm the one who slapped your hand away, how am I good natured? At which she says that, no, I selfishly went with you. Which I guess in a way it is true, because like I said in the previous episode, I do remember Lawrence told her that you stay back, but she was like, no, I'm going to help you out. Obviously she didn't have any bad intentions at that, but she didn't realize it would escalate this far. And she feels sad and like sorry about that fact that Lawrence is not getting angry at her, but he's trying to say that it's his fault. So in a way, she's angry at the fact that Lawrence isn't blaming him, and that's why she's calling him good natured. Because if it was someone else, they probably would have blamed her and would have been like, yeah, I told you to stay back, you didn't listen, and look at what has happened. So something like that. Either way, okay, so yeah, and like she's like, and Lawrence says, yeah, I really thought I did something I couldn't take back when I swatted your hand away. I really wanted to apologize over and over for that. That is why I thought I should do the best I could. My actions seem to have backfired. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. And yeah, and this is where this is where she says like, why are you so good natured? And her tail was like, wagging. She was expecting something like, oh, it's because it's you, or because you were special, something like that. But Lawrence is like, oh, it's my personality probably. Oh my god. And I like I said, I love this part. She gets pissed off. She's like, I cannot believe this. You're unbelievably good natured, you fool. She punches him, and she says like, personality, your personality. Even if it is a lie, an astute male would say, their actions are a sign of their affection, you fool. And she's like, wait, what? Oh, I'm sorry. And then she says, now listen here. There are times when one wishes to hear something even if it is a lie, and times when one wishes to beat the other until the face is swollen because it's spoken too late. What time do you think it is? Yeah, and then she says like, you know what, whatever, it's because you are good natured that I can travel with you, and lower my guard. And then she's like, but still, I want to hear it. And she's like, tell me, why are you so good natured? Gives him a second chance, at which he says like, oh, it's because you're special, it's you, that's why. And she starts like, wagging her tail. Right. And then after that, like Hollow's like, what the hell are we even doing now? Like, and then she says, alright, you know what? I have a plan. And she tells him the plan, and there you go. Next day, we get to see what the plan is. So basically, they went to this like little place, and they called in for Remerio. Remerio came here, and he's like, oh, what business do you have from me? At which he brings up the whole thing. So basically, smuggling gold. Remerio's like, what the hell are you talking about? And he's like, yeah. And anyways, at first he's like, you're a fool, whatever you are saying. And he says like, it's impossible. If a person as skilled as you are saying who can smuggle gold existed, they would be making plenty money on their own. He says, which is a logical, conclusion that he has come to. At which Lawrence says like, what if the extremely skilled person isn't making good money? Yeah. And he says, if they're that skilled, they shouldn't have problems finding work in this city. At which he says back, what if they're skilled, earning low wages in this city? and in desperate need of money. At which he kind of stops here and then he continues. Most importantly, the individual is frustrated with their current employer, and the employer of that person is the church. And now his full attention is there. He's like, wait, so that person's involved with the church? And he says, like, if I involve her in that smuggling gold, no, if I convince her that smuggling gold would be an act against the church, and she'll take it. She's definitely going to accept it. There's no chance of betrayal. At which the mayor's like, well, why are you not doing it on your own? Why are you bringing me in? At which he says, like, oh, because of two reasons. Number one, the deadline. I don't have enough money now. Like, yeah, I cannot like give it to you, so I need to extend the deadline. And then he says number two is like he brings in the money that he has gathered. Okay, let me see. He kind of mentions here how much he was able to collect. I was only able to collect 3 and 2/7 Lumion. Okay, so it's basically 3 and yeah, so it's like literally nothing. She's way more than that. And he's like, this is all I have. I would like to use this as a collateral for this proposal. With it, I would like you to hold off on collecting the debt and provide enough money for the purchase of the gold. So there you go. This is like another important point, because number one, deadline. Number two, he does need the money to purchase the gold. He doesn't have enough, So he's giving his money. He's like, take my money. This is all I have for now. Take this as collateral and help me out to buy that gold and extend my deadline, and then when we all make the money, when we are all profit by the end of it, we can, like share it amongst each other, and like everything will be okay then. Basically that. At which he's like, oh, and now he's still not really convinced, because obviously he has to pay the money, and he's like, what, like why? But Hollow here seals the deal. She says like, do you have time to hesitate? And I was like, why is he acting like this? Like literally in the previous episode, he's acting so haughty. He's like, you have to give, return the money within 2 days, and was like smirking and everything. And now he's acting as if he's like something is going on, and he's like scared about something. And Hollow says here, it seems yet another person has left now. So this is the reason why he's so scared, because he realizes like his situation is also in a dire, thing. Is it alright to drag your feet? Since my ears are especially good, I can easily hear their whispering. In the room below us, there are people planning to abandon you and run away. Should I repeat their words in detail? Yeah, I see. The crash of the armor market has brought this trading company tremendous losses. They're saying, let's run. The place has no future. Let's gather the others together. At this rate, the company... Yeah, so here's the thing. This is the interesting part here. Like, I was forgetting that he is also in a tricky, difficult situation. Because, yeah, he is going to get that money from Lawrence, but he still went through a loss, if you remember that. Yeah, the one who got the majority of it was Lawrence. Because he literally bought it in credit, and now he has to, give that money back, which the money that he doesn't even have. So Lawrence's funds is in negative, while his funds is at zero. Because even if he gets that money, it's not going to help, because he needs to pay off the debt. So his funds is at zero, so he's at loss now. He's a businessman. Yeah, his funds would have gone to negative if Lawrence wasn't involved in this. If Lawrence didn't buy it in credit, I think his funds would have gone negative, which would have completely bankrupted him, and he would have just lost everything immediately, and he would have been in even more depression. But he's not at that stage, at least, because Lawrence has gotten most of the the damage that he has gotten. But he is still at a troublesome situation. He's still at loss. He has a company, and his company literally made such a big loss. Yeah, he didn't go bankrupt, but his funds are almost at zero, something like that. That is why everyone is leaving. They're like, oh my god, nah man, this is bad, let's leave. And they're leaving. So he, not only is his funds at zero, his people are leaving, which means he's literally left with no manpower that he can earn the money back. He has no manpower, he has nothing, he's just zero. So it's it's a stressful situation for him as well. Like I didn't even think about that, but yeah, that makes sense. Like I probably didn't think about it because in the previous episode he was acting just so high and mighty, so it didn't even register in my head that yeah, he's also in a tricky situation. So yeah, anyways, he's like, okay, like yeah, like I'll listen to you. So you know he's like, okay, I'll give you money. At which, like, later on you can see that Lawrence and okay, now he says something here. He calls this guy and he says, uh, call Liebert here. Who's Liebert? I'm forgetting the name. I think he's one of those guys in the previous episode. That is it. That guy who welcomed them. Is that Liebert? I forgot the name. Anyways, yeah. Now here, when Lawrence and Hollow are moving, Hollow says that I'm surprised he had enough funds to buy the gold, which is true. Like I said, his funds are supposed to be at zero. So Hollow's like, how is he buying gold? At which Lawrence says, like every trading company, most of them, put aside certain fiercely protected emergency fund in situations like this. For situations like this, he probably dipped his hand into that to recover from drastic and unexpected losses. Yeah, so that's why. Okay, anyways, now comes the second part of the plan. We have to convince Nora, and they were like standing in front of like the thing. And here Hollow says, like, you're too much good natured. Can you do this? And Lawrence says, like, like I do feel bad about like almost like like tricking her, because in a way, as he says, this is a gamble. Like, he's involving a normal girl into a gamble that she shouldn't have had to go through. So in a way, he feels bad about that. um Either way, Hollow's like, okay, so let me do it then. Like I need to be of a little bit of use to you. At which Lawrence is like, come on, don't say that. Like yeah, it's like, don't think about like like what like that. Like, don't think that you're being of no help to me. And here Lawrence like literally says that like you're the ones who actually cornered and marry you, and in other situations as well, you've helped me a lot. And also the fact that this whole like situation is my doing. Like I'm the one who became greedy and tried to invest in credit, like, and tried to buy stuff in credit and do something like that. So it's nothing is really your fault. Anyways, Lawrence says like, let me do it, like otherwise I'm going to get too independent, like dependent on you, this and that. And again, like like Hollow's like, like kind of like a little bit of banter here and there. Either way, Lawrence like was waiting, and the door opens, everyone's coming out, and Nora's coming out. At which Lawrence is like, "Oh, can I talk to you?" And they come to like a little, like a place where they're having like I'm guessing beer or like alcohol, whatever that is. Okay, so yeah, so Lawrence says like, I want to hire you, for a certain job. You said that you could go to Lambda, didn't you? And he says like, it's like 20 Lumion. At which she's like, wait, what? That amount of money? And she's like, it's because it's extremely dangerous. Yeah, and then Lawrence is like, if you get this amount of money, like you will be able to not only get like the like tailor, like be able to do your tailored like job, you'll be able to like get like a proper store. You might be able to go even further than that. So it's like a very good deal. But if we fail in this, we are not getting paid. So it's a risky one. Okay, now one thing I need to understand, was there like a bigger reason why, like, Hollow was sitting beside Lawrence, she ends up drinking the whole thing, gets up, leaves, and later if you see, he comes and sits beside Nora. I wonder if there's like a bigger meaning behind that. I'm not really sure. Okay, anyways, so she leaves here, at which Lawrence brings up the church, here, and starts telling her that, oh, like, this place, are you okay with this place? And then he says like, why do you want to make like, go for a store somewhere other than this place? This place is a good place, there's a lot of opportunities here. And then he says like, oh, it's probably because you don't want to get involved with the church here, that's why somewhere else. Obviously Nora's cannot deny it. She tries to deny it, but she knows that that's the truth. And yes, here is where Lawrence starts to tell her that, okay, so I understand the situation, like these people here, the church people, they're all bad people. And he says like, I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to send you to dangerous places, and they're trying to frame you as like a witch or like something like that. And and that's why unless and until you mess up, they're going to keep letting you go to places, dangerous places, just for the fact that if you mess up, they'll get an opportunity to frame you. And he says like, I have a similar experience, this and that. Yeah, the church here is worse than pigs. So we've made a plan. And Nora's like looking at Sam, he's like, oh my god, I hope nobody heard that. So yeah, here we go. Hollow comes back and sits beside Nora. Like I said, I think I'm missing something here. I'm sure there's a bigger reason behind the sudden seat switch. Or maybe not, I'm not really sure. Okay, so yeah, so Lawrence in the end says like, so basically we earn a lot of money, and get out of here, go to a different, place and settle down over there. You could do that. We will smuggle gold. Okay, now I'm going to read this part, because this part he gives us important information. But what use am I to you? At which he says, here we go. As you know, this city is very strict on the smuggling of gold. Yeah. We plan to hide the gold under the bellies of the sheep and secretly bring in a large amount of gold without being caught. Okay. However, the price of gold is exorbitant in any of the towns influenced by this city. But there's one exception. The pagan town Lamtra. Okay, so I understand now. So basically what he's saying is like any place related to this place. Wait a minute. Just a minute. The price of gold is exorbitant in any of the towns influenced by this city. So there you go. Now this is one part I wasn't understanding, but now that I'm reading it, I can properly understand. So basically what he's saying here is that any town which is like influenced by this city, the gold money is huge. It takes a lot of money to get that gold, So if we get it from some other place and bring it here, the profit will be very minimal. It won't be that much, because we're buying a highly expensive product and bringing it here and selling it at an expensive thing. So basically the profit margin will be very low. We won't be able to get enough money from that. However, there's only one difference. Lamtra, since it is not involved in any of the influence with this place, Lamtra is a pagan city. So we get that gold from there at probably a very much lower price than all the other gold, all the other cities. Bring that in over here and sell it for a huge amount. So the profit margin will be higher, I guess, in that way. Right. I think that's what's happening. Yeah, but there's one exception. The pagan town Lamtra. Many people travel the safe route to Lamtra, yeah, and it's been territory of other shepherds for a long time. Yeah, that's why I chose you, because she's a shepherd. Nobody will be suspicious. No one will suspect you from traveling through secluded areas with your sheep. And top of that, you'll be taking the shortest route to Lamtra. And for you, this is the perfect chance to get back at the church. Import and export of gold, along with the donations, are the greatest sources of income for the church. However, if they discover us, we'll be seriously punished. After we finish the job, we'll have to leave this city. So he's like, will you do it? And she's like, yeah, let's do it. So shake their hands. There you go. Later on, we see Lawrence is like oh my god, I'm not really happy about this, because this is literally a gamble. We merchants should gamble amongst each other. I don't want to involve, or I feel bad involving someone who's not a merchant into something like this. He's just a young shepherd, so yeah. And in the end, Hollow's like, come on, you're too good natured. She knows what she's getting into, like, and she, knowing that, she jumped into it. She's not a like poor feeble shepherd, she's a daring one, and she decided to jump into this whole thing on her own, took her own decision. And she said, like, she might just be a different animal wearing a sheepskin, who knows, so yeah. Either way, in the end, yeah, in the end, they're like, Lawrence is like, hopefully everyone ends up laughing by the end of it, at which she's like, oh, I just wanted us both to be laughing, you know. And he's like, no, you know what? That's all well and good, but I want everyone to laugh by the end. And she's like, ah, you're too good natured. And that's where it ended. So there you go. We at least have a good plan now, basically, smuggling of gold. And, hopefully it goes smoothly. So basically, I guess, like, Nora will be going and we will also be accompanying her. However, we probably will be in disguises. We probably will act as like her attendants or whatever. I don't know. And the sheep will be there and the gold will be underneath the sheep's bellies, and the wool will probably cover it. So we will be like getting the gold, buying the gold from Lamtra, from a considerably low amount than the other towns who are connected to this place. And we're going to get that. We're going to go through like the shortcut route, and come here, like, and sell the gold here probably for a huge amount, smuggle it in, and we'll get a lot of profit. We will then share it amongst each other, like Remerio will get his part, we will get our part, the debt will go away, everything will be okay, and then we will bounce out from this place. We'll just leave. And yeah, and we'll also give like Nora her share. Nora can take the money and go to some other place and maybe like make like a little tailoring shop, as she said, as that's her plan. That is the ideal scenario. But I'm sure like trouble will we should just get into some kind of trouble. So let's see what that is, like how this goes. Hopefully everything goes as smooth as we think, but I doubt that's going to happen. Right, so that is today's episode. Episode number 10 of Spice and Wolf. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, or you haven't subscribed, comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know, I'll check them out. And that is it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next week with another episode of Spice and Wolf. Until then, goodbye, and have a nice day.